It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin. You're very welcome. My name is Ebuka Obichem. Welcome to a brand new month and happy Independence Day, Nigeria. 57 years as an independent nation. And I know that when many of us were younger, it would be a time to, put on our school uniforms and, do our march past and celebrate. I don't know that we're doing a lot of celebrating these days. The economy is sort of recovering. We're not sure exactly where things are. We hear that the recession is over. We don't know by how much. And if it's going to be a continuous trend, there's a lot that's going on with the nation, especially security-wise. The Southeast is not particularly stable. The Northeast is going through its own issues. The South has its issues. The North, Central, every region seems to be going through something, and it's not a time to be celebrating much as a nation. And a lot of talk has been going on in the last year about, the country sitting down and actually deciding our future together. 57 is not a very young age, but it's also not a very old age by national standards. But we want to believe that, as we say every year, things can only get better going forward. I have here with me Yemi Saka and Bola Dale Adekoya, who will help me today talk about Nigeria, which we always do on this show anyways. And it's many issues, whether we like it or not. Thanks for being here today. Happy Independence to both of you. Looking very Nigerian and traditional. So, yes, 57 years. It's been a very up and down ride for the nation. No matter how young you are, you have an opinion on what Nigeria is and what Nigeria should be. So just coming from you now, looking at the last year in particular and this presidency and how things have shaped up, do you think we've made some progress from 56 or not?
Well, Ibuka, let me start by saying that Nigeria is not where Nigeria should be. It is disappointing that at this point in time we are still talking about the good old days. And that means we've not made anything good out of the future that we ought to have created, which is quite disappointing as well, because this is the first time in the history of this country that we will be as divided as we have. I would not want to rate the difference, or I don't want to put, I would not to rate the difference between the last year and this year. But what I would say is that I think it is audible enough for the deaf, and especially for those who are on the streets, those who are trying to make ends meet, to compare and contrast how they were last year and how they are this year. I think that's just what I would say on that.
What's your take?
Well, my take is very simple. I'll borrow the word of what I fondly call my principal, General Babangida, and it says, we determine how successful any government is if you can still keep and guarantee one Nigeria. That's always the yardstick some of us assess every successive government, either democratic, either through military incursion or intervention. So far, so good on that premise, on that pedestal. This administration has done so well. Yes, there's a one Nigeria. Yes, the sovereignty is threatened. Yes, the coexistence has been questioned, but there's still a one Nigeria.
Is that good enough, though? I mean, which is why a lot of this talk has started going on about, we need to sit down and have a conversation. I mean, we hear so many times that the unity of this nation is non-negotiable, and some people have an issue with that. Is it just enough that we are one Nigeria, regardless of all the issues we have?
I find it nauseating that some individuals feel that citizens who were not coerced to be citizens do not have the right to decide their fate. It is preposterous that we are holding these people of this nation under duress. I think it's really important for Nigerians to decide if they still want to be part of this relationship, this marriage or not. Now, I know a lot of people have said, oh, fine, no, the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. But you cannot force them to be part of the country. You have to, if they have grievances, you have to listen to them, you have to work on it. But if you refuse to listen to their grievances, you refuse to listen to the outcry, telling them, no, you still have to be, that means no longer a marriage. So for us to continue to live in peace and unity as a country, I think it's really important for us to sit down first, take in all the grievances, which is the first point. If someone is telling me, oh, I don't like this marriage, okay, let's take for instance now. I don't like this marriage, I want to leave. The first thing the marriage counselor will ask is this: why do you want to leave? Now, we've refused to ask the question of why. Fortunately for us also, those that want to leave have also been telling us this is the reason why we want to leave. But we're telling them, no, we don't want to hear the excuse. You are not leaving, you are not leaving. That means that such marriage is open to domestic violence. Yeah. And these are the issues that we should not allow in any sane society. It's
interesting that we're talking about this on a day that I think the Catalans in Spain are going through their own drama right now with trying to hold a referendum which the Spanish government has not allowed. So we're hearing about 300 and some people have been injured. But I want to go to a point President Buhari made today in his broadcast to the nation on independence, where he said, at all events, proper dialogue and any desired constitutional changes should take place in a rational manner at the national and state assemblies. These are the proper and legal fora for national debate, not some lopsided, undemocratic body with predetermined sets of objectives. So, from what we can see here, he's not ready to call any sort of, I don't know what to call it. The National Assembly, he believes, is going to handle this, if at all we have any grievances. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that, but maybe we could be reading the same page of a book from different sides. Maybe I'm reading from the back, he's reading from the front. President Muhammadu Buhari is one person over time I've questioned his leadership approach or what have you. When it comes to the issue of Nigeria's sovereignty and issue of coexistence, I think most times we're on the same page. You see, let's go back into history. There was a time in this country, even the people that ought to know were shouting sovereign national conference. As at the time that the sovereignty of Nigeria has been defined, we have Nigeria as a nation, we have the green, white, green flag, we have the coat of arms, we have the institution of government or governance. So which sovereignty do you want to define or redefine? And at another point in time, people saying the constitution is flawed, was handed down to us by the military, was forced upon us. But there was a 1995 draft constitution by the late General Sani Abacha administration. Nigerians didn't ask why that constitution was not implemented. And that constitution, between you and I, my personal opinion, would have gone a long way, addressing these fundamental issues that keeps occurring at every dispensation. As with that constitution, the 6 regions that have had a shot at the presidency, either being a vice president or the president. 3 or 4 regions as we speak right now would have produced a president. Whether you like it or not, it would have gone on, and the call for marginalization or exclusion would have died a natural death. But the constitution was not adopted because a body that calls itself Afenifere decided that they were not going to abide with that constitution because they were not part of the conference. And that was how Justice Nikitobi had to amend or upgrade the 1979 constitution as 1999 constitution. So these are issues we should look at. Then secondly, probably let's get very blunt and direct here. Towards the 2015 election, or just towards the May 2015, there was this agitation by HIPOB. Everybody keeps saying Igbos have been marginalized. They keep saying, yes, the killings of the Igbos in the north was what triggered the first civil war. But that wasn't just what happened. There was a coup. And to the best of my knowledge, that's the only coup in Nigeria that has been termed, named, categorized, classified as a tribal coup. And what happened? We had 30 federal ministers, 24 were Igbos. Igbos had 30 senior military officers, none were killed. The Hausas, the northern Nigeria, the Hausas had 10, all were killed. The west had 8, 2 were killed. Ademolegun was killed in his bed with his wife. Colonel Shodende was killed with a grenade in his bed because of a coup. And at the end of the coup, it now turned out to be a tribal coup. Lieutenant Hoji was alleged to have met with late General Green University on Carter Bridge. And because they spoke in local dialect, he allowed him go, and that was why he wasn't killed. And it was even alleged that Azikwe was tipped of the coup. So at the end, when dust settled, it dawned on them that the allegation there was an ascendancy to push an Igbo dominance in Nigerian politics stayed. And that was why they started running from the north, especially Kaduna and Kano. And that was what sparked up the reprisal killings. And that was what led to the counter coup. So if you look at it, some people create a platform for the marginalization. And if after the Civil War and what have you, The first experiment at democracy had an Igbo man as the vice president. That shows that heavy part of the country has moved on beyond the war, except the Igbos. Unless we want to lie to ourselves, I want to call it spade the cutlass. So, the call for marginalization in some aspects is always politically motivated. At the point when Chief MK Abiola lost the election was when he started hearing the call for sovereign national conference. At the point when President Goodluck Nnamdi Azikiwe Jonathan lost the election was when the agitation of IPOB became intense. So
you're saying the
agitation? The agitation most times is not true reflection of the will of the people. It's on political actors latching on the sentiments of people. Ignorant.
So you don't believe there's a legitimate call from the southeastern part of Nigeria for what they're demanding right now? Not necessarily secession, but you don't think the southeastern part of this country is marginalized? I
don't. Every region in this country has a fair share of marginalization. And every region of this country should be blamed for the marginalization they're going through. Either they've not done well enough or they're not doing anything at all.